tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What's up, everyone? Hello, welcome to the Mob Wives After Show, right here on AfterBuzz TV. We are about to kick off episode 6, younger version of the same old BS.
I love that title.
I would have said the whole thing, but they called it BS. We know what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're very excited for tonight. We are missing one of our lovely panelists. Nicole had to be out tonight, but the rest of us are here holding it down. We're going to cover episode 6. Just great. That's what we're gonna do. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. All of our Mob Wives coverage is on there via AfterBuzz TV. Be sure to interact with us, chat with us using hashtag ABTV Mob Wives, and give us thumbs up and 5 stars and all that good stuff. We're very excited to be here with you. Tonight's episode was especially good because we were held on this cliffhanger from last episode, right?
Right.
So we came into this one, and we finally got to see what happened.
Yeah. First of all, who are you?
Oh my gosh, you're so right, Marissa. Thank you. We just assume everybody know. We know who we are at this point, right? Well, I'm your host, Blake V, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media. And who am I joined by?
Hey everybody, you can find me, Paulina Aguilar, on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar.
Hey everybody, you can find me Twitter, Instagram, all that great stuff at Howard III.
Fantastic.
Okay,
See, we're just so excited. We're just like ready to get into it.
And I hope you guys played the swear and sip game.
Oh yes,
sipping some water
because we did. Little swear and sip.
I felt like I was drinking the whole thing. I couldn't even catch up, so I was just like gulp, 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 gulp.
Too many swears. Yeah,
exactly.
Like I tried to keep count, and then it just became like a blob of tally marks. It was too many to keep count. Yeah. Just like Paulina said. Just gotta drink through it.
Exactly. So back to this fight. I wish we would have saw more, and it might be just editing. We didn't see everything.
Yes.
I went back and forth, and I was trying to catch that left hook, and I was trying to catch that kick, and all that stuff, and I wish they would have let us show, see more.
Absolutely. I'm with you. And I'm actually in the chat room right now on YouTube. Our chat room is open for the episode right now. And Kevin Ryan said the same thing that you just said. He said, I'm loving the season, but I wish they would just let them fight.
Yes.
And
okay. I did
Let's
not
clarify.
Say fight. Let's clarify. As much as I do like fights, it's probably not the best idea. I just wish they would have let us see what actually happened instead of cut, security guard.
Yes.
I just want to see the fight.
Just let them
I
fight.
would like just let them fight for at least 2 to 3 minutes and then break it up.
Agreed. Because I feel like that's what happens every season of Mob Wives.
Yeah.
We love it. We watch it for the drama. We watch it for the fights. And that's exactly what happens. We have these hot-headed ladies who are just ready to murder each other, basically. And they get broken up so fast. The fights get broken up so fast.
Yeah.
So then they just want to really get at each other the next time they see each other.
Yes. And on one hand, I guess that sort of preserves the heat and the anger, and it keeps them fiery for the next time they see each other. But it's I kind of agree. I just wish they had let them have it out just a little bit more.
Oh, definitely.
For sure. So we came into this fight with Brittany being super fired up. She was coming after Marissa no matter what. And when they finally got face to face, I guess there was a moment where a punch slipped through from Marissa and hit Brittany. And that was sort of a topic of conversation, is the fact that Brittany was the one firing up, bringing the fight, and yet Marissa
was the first one
let through and popped her.
Yeah.
So Brittany's defense was, well, there's nothing on my face. I'm not marked up. So she really didn't do a lot of damage. But what do you guys think? Is a punch, or does it only matter if there's a mark left?
No.
It matters if you clock her. I mean, I can go like this to Howard, and if I barely get him like a smudge like that, there's no mark. But if I there's got to be some kind of leftover.
A mark, right?
And I, like if someone said, "Oh yeah, I got him," like, okay, well, where did it really happen? Does the other guy look better? You know, I wish. I don't know. I'm glad nobody got hurt, to be honest. But did you not see that kick with her heel?
Yeah.
Did everybody else? I hope you guys caught it.
Did it connect? Nothing happened.
Well, I don't know how far she got with it, but the camera moved down and you see her heel, her foot just go boom. And I don't know because she wasn't limping. She wasn't like going for her leg, so I don't think she got her.
I don't think it was an attempt.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
A missed connection.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting because I mean they broke it up so quick. We really didn't get to see what transpired. And Brittany certainly felt like there was leftover material that needed to be covered. She's ready to go again.
I thought this whole conversation was just ridiculous, and the whole thing they were talking about, like, oh, you started it, no, you started it, no, then you brought me up. It's like, no, both of you. First of all, both of you guys were wrong. When someone gets in your space like that, when you stand up, like if you were to stand up right now, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna stand up too, and
to defend yourself.
I don't know what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I've always been taught to never start the fight and to always finish it.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that she threw the first punch. But if someone stands up in your space like that, you are gonna get defensive. So what I was telling Howard when we were watching it is the words went to, "What's your problem with me?" to relax. To you want to fight, and then she stands up. So you guys didn't really talk about anything.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. And that's
definitely.
funny too because like when you're ready to fight and someone's telling you to relax,
That gets
That's
you more
fighting
riled
words.
up.
Yeah.
That gets you riled up.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Really?
hear like, "Hey, let's just have a conversation right now." Then that will calm me down.
yeah. Yeah, any sort of direct, like, relax, calm down, you're acting crazy, any of that. That's just grounds for, just that's bringing it out of anybody, I'm sure. Let's see what some of the comments were about this. I mean, everyone's really kind of agreeing with this. They wanted to see some of the fights, and wanted to see a little more of it. Someone just put a comment that they wish that they would show a little more of the fights like they would in season 1 and 2. Diego Martinez,
definitely.
season 1 and 2, like Drita versus Karen,
Oh,
where they let it
epic.
play it out a little more.
Yeah.
Those were the best fights.
Those
like,
were the
back
days.
in the day.
It's the final season. Just let it happen, guys.
Exactly.
Right.
Like you're not coming back next season. Just let the girls hash it out.
Completely.
Unless someone shanks somebody.
Right?
Yeah.
Unless it gets real ugly.
That's what I'm saying. Just give them that 2 minutes. Like
But
we
it never
talked
will.
about.
Yeah. Just chat it out. Okay, so that brings me to kind of the next topic of loyalty. So we had Marissa versus Brittany, and we kind of saw how that played out. But then we also had the ladies behind each one kind of defending each one and then sort of being in each one's corner. We sort of have a divide among the rest of the ladies, which is really interesting. And we were chatting about that with Marissa when she joined us via phone call in a previous episode, that it was really interesting. When she came in, there was sort of a divide of the ladies who clicked with her versus the ladies who clicked with Brittany. So in this particular case, Brittany was introduced into this season by Karen. Their families have been longtime friends. Their fathers were in similar situations. Exactly. So, they have a lot in common. And she came in through Karen under the understanding that Karen would really be loyal to her. But in this situation, she does not feel that way. She has really connected with Drita. She feels like Drita really gets her on a more personal level, and that Karen has kind of left her, like thrown her to the wolves, like she's not really in her corner defending her. And I thought that was really interesting because to me, Karen seemed like, she did seem like she was trying to take a neutral approach. And she's been saying that the whole time, that she was trying to stay neutral. She wasn't choosing sides with anybody. But in doing that, Brittany totally perceived the situation as her just like throwing her hands up and getting rid of any kind of loyalty that she would have to her. What did you guys think when Brittany sort of brought up that case about Karen specifically, and when they had their sit down and they were kind of discussing it? They clearly have a difference of opinion.
Yeah, I personally thought that it was really none of Karen's business, in my opinion. I kind of saw where she was coming from, like, oh, you're supposed to be loyal to me, you're my friend, blah, blah, blah. But Brittany has her own mind, if Brittany feels like Karen, let me just fight, like, stop trying to talk to me and stop trying to calm me down, then she should do that. I think Karen overstepped her boundaries, in my opinion. I think she just needs to let Brittany figure out her own situation. And if and if Drita is mean to Brittany or, has an evil spirit towards her, Brittany needs to find that out for herself. Karen doesn't need to keep saying, oh, blah, 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 and Drita this, Drita that. You know?
Yeah, I actually really agree with you on that point, because I feel like Drita, Karen rather, Drita also, but Karen specifically in this example, I feel like she came onto the season super fiery. Mm-hmm. She talks about being young and just like spiced up and she would fight anybody, but I feel like now with seasons past, she's sort of matured a little bit. Yeah. And she's really a lot more mellow and like level-headed, and she really thinks things through before she's doing them. Like she's coming at Brittany going like, just talk first, fight later. But I guarantee back in the day, Karen was not trying to talk first.
Definitely not. Yeah.
And she was going to fight first. So I do think that's interesting that she's sort of taking like a mother approach and kind of being like, let me guide you through this in a rational way versus being like a friend. I feel like Drita's kind of being a friend to Brittany, being like, yeah, girl, like go get Marissa, fight your way. I feel you. Yeah.
Love that part.
Exactly. Like she's really coming at her from a friend angle, but Karen's sort of taking this sort of step above approach and is like, talk it out. Like don't,
as it should be. I'm going directly opposite of you.
Okay.
So the whole Drita situation, I feel like Drita isn't picking a side. It's more of, hey, I understand what you're going through, and I think they relate because Drita is a hot chili pepper just like her. She can get heated and go from 0 to 100 in 0.5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's why they relate to each other. The whole Karen situation, I liked what she said when she said, where's your loyalty to me? I'm on Karen's side on this. Brittany is young, and I think it's because I grew up in where you respect your elders. It's like, okay, if I'm bringing you into the group, I'm asking you to do me a favor and calm down and have a conversation. Out of respect, that's what she should have done. She owes Karen an apology, I think. Be like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry I went too far. I'm sorry, I should have, settled down a little bit. I should have been a lot more calm. I should have conversated with her. I'm sorry, and say that would have happened. Say the conversation did happen. Yep. And it still didn't work out, and they still hated each other. Mm-hmm. Then I can see Karen being like, okay, if that's on you now. Thank you for trying. It didn't work out, and that now it's your business.
Yeah.
Those are her friends.
Yeah. So then do you think that Drita has overstepped her boundaries in sort of connecting with Brittany and like a little bit egging her on?
Because Karen brought her into the group. Mm-hmm. If you don't want her to be friends with anybody, then don't bring her into the group.
Exactly.
Good point. Yeah.
Because then they can be friends. If they're the only people that relate to each other, why not?
Yeah.
Exactly. But do you think Brittany owes everything to Karen just because Karen brought her into the group now?
No, she doesn't owe everything. Well, no, I'm not saying she owes everything, but it's kind of like, how do I explain it? You're bringing me into the group. These are your friends. This is your crew. This is your crowd. I don't want to disrespect anybody.
Right.
It's your friends. I'm going to put you in a rough situation.
Right. Okay.
Renee did her a favor. Why can't she do the same?
Yeah.
Brittany.
That's true. That is totally true. So then sort of on Marissa's standpoint, did any one person bring Marissa in?
Renee.
Did she? So Renee brought her in.
Yeah,
okay.
They were friends.
Okay, so Renee brought her in. Do we find it interesting that there's sort of this issue between Karen and Drita over Brittany, but there's not really this issue over Marissa's side of the fight? I mean, I know that sort of on Marissa's side, they're feeling like Brittany started it, and Brittany has been egging it on, and her and Drita, have been like really making it more substance than it was. But with Marissa defending herself and punching Brittany and all of this, we haven't heard anything from Renee yet, or anybody really causing this much strife over, like it is with Brittany.
Yeah.
Do we find that interesting? I mean, I do think that it's funny that Karen and there's like this Karen and Drita fight now over Brittany.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, she is her own woman when it comes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
No one like owns her or the fact that they brought her into the group, but really it's caused like a lot of chaos. Yeah.
Well, I took it as if Renee and Marissa were friends, which is how she was brought in, but it seems that Marissa and Drita know each other longer and have been around each other longer because of the boyfriend.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm a little confused.
Benson Olivia just said, Karen didn't care about Brittany and Drita being friends as long as they didn't team up against her. So do we feel like Karen and Brittany are now, Drita and Brittany are now teaming up against Karen? Do you think that's how she's feeling in this scenario?
That is actually a really good point. I can see where he's getting that idea, because it does seem like that all of a sudden now that Brittany and Drita are besties, now Karen's like, wait a minute, you know? So that's a good point. But I don't know. I didn't really see it like that.
Yeah.
No.
I know. It's kind of a funny situation because it's like, on one hand, I can definitely see Karen's side of things. Like, just like you were saying, Paulina, you know, you bring someone in, you don't want to rock the boat, they're your original friend. But at what point does that line become so thin that you now see everyone else as fair game or fair friendship or whatever? And then whatever transpires after that really kind of overthrows your initial loyalties or whatever.
I feel
it may
like
be.
it depends on how often you guys hang out. I mean, outside of the show, how often I meet friends through my best friend, but I see them when I'm with her.
Rarely.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it hardly ever happens where we become friends and we hang out on our own.
Right.
That's a really good point too, because I wonder how close Brittany and Karen actually were before she brought her in.
Right.
Exactly.
Because I almost feel like in this episode tonight, some of Karen's comments made me feel like maybe they weren't super close before, and sort of her bringing her in was sort of a like an extended invitation, sort of an outside person who she knew and their families were close, but maybe she wasn't super friendly with.
But I don't know, because remember that comment from Brittany's mom, when she was saying, we almost went to go stay with Karen and her family in Arizona.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let a stranger, I wouldn't even let an acquaintance come stay with me. So maybe they were actually pretty
Very
close, but they could have had a small, falling out. Maybe if you, just like I have friends, in Germany. I don't speak to you every day, but...
Right, but you're still friends.
Yeah, so maybe it was like that.
That's true. That's very true. Sort of on this same topic, I thought it was really interesting, too, when Brittany went to the restaurant to speak to her mother and then invited Drita along to sort of settle the scenario. Let's chat about that for a second. So, Brittany's mom is quite a character. I think that every time she's been on, she, is very sad. It's so funny, because the first time they introduced her, she was dressed in this really proper, little tennis outfit and pearls.
Yeah.
And then now, to see her talk, she's just like the rest of them.
How old is Brittany and Marissa? Do we know?
Brittany's 25. She said that when she was... And Marissa, I'm not sure. I heard she was somewhere around 30, 31. But I'm not sure on
just
that.
a touch older than Brittany.
I don't know if maybe it's just me, or hopefully you guys agree too, that it's just the dynamic that they all hang out.
Yeah.
And friends, that age gap.
Yes, which could even be the situation between Brittany and Karen. Even though they're friends, Karen, is a little bit older. She has a child already. Brittany, I don't think she does have. Doesn't have kids. She just has a boyfriend. So I think that they're sort of just in different stages in life too, and that on its own just brings a different level of understanding,
and maturity as well.
Exactly.
These women that have been on all these seasons, they've been through all those fights. They've been through that already, and they're just trying to guide them to not do it.
Yeah.
But I still believe Karen should let Brittany figure it out. I just don't like how mad she got.
Right. Yeah, because at the end of the day, Brittany's her own woman, and she can make her own choices. That's completely true. So speaking of that, Karen, we're sort of the opinion that Karen should have stepped back a little bit and let Brittany do what she was going to do. On the flip side with Drita, Brittany invited Drita to have this little sit-down meeting with her mother, and I guess she was trying to relay the situation to her mother, and she brought Drita along to help.
But why?
Smooth it over. Yeah.
I said the same thing.
You were a witness.
Yeah.
Tell her what really happened.
Yes.
I thought
it was just awkward.
I know. I think so too. And obviously, Brittany has struck up a new friendship with Drita, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
Whoever she's friends with is cool. But I did think that was really funny. She's trying to relay this message to her mom, but she's like, listen to my friend over here, my brand new friend that you don't know. And then I also...
Been Karen for the past 5 years.
Yeah. And that's what I thought was really interesting is Brittany's mom was straight up calling Karen out.
Yeah.
Straight up calling her out. And I was like, well, haven't you been friends with this family for years and years? And Karen must have been like a daughter to you, like all of these things. And on one event, like one flip of a coin, you're ready to be like, we have no loyalty to Karen. Like, we're with Drita now. It's like Drita's brand new to you. So, you know, what's happening? What's happening here?
It was definitely a little fishy in that area. I love Brittany's mom. I felt like she kind of should have been like a main character, you know, something like I hope we see more of her this season.
Yeah.
But it was something like, well, wait a minute. I thought you guys were close. I thought, you know, trying to move in together. Now, like you said, just, where's her loyalty? Well, where's your loyalty now? Like,
right.
I'm just tired of hearing the word loyalty.
Okay.
I'm so sick of it. Like, so one character says it, then everybody says it. It's like, can't just everybody be friends?
Yeah.
Well,
apparently not.
Yeah. That is the theme of Mob Wives. Loyalty heavy. Loyalty first. For sure. If we've learned nothing from the Mob Wives, keep your loyalties. Definitely. Okay, Benson Olivia also just said Brittany knew her mom wouldn't believe her on her own. So, like, she needed backup to tell the story to her mom.
If I were her mom, I'd be like, Brittany, I told you so.
Yeah.
I seriously would.
I know. Well, and she sort of did. I mean, at the beginning of the episode, we saw her mom be very apprehensive of the fact that Brittany was going to even be involved in this show. And she was like, don't go back to Staten Island. Like, don't get involved with these women. Don't do this with your life. And she was like, no, I got it. I can handle it. These are, like, my people. I can still...
I mean,
I can show back up. I can represent.
That's funny.
It is. It definitely is. So that was really the majority of the episode, I feel like, was, like, super this whole Brittany versus Marissa, Karen versus Drita, and sort of like the relationships in between and what was happening. And that's going to be really interesting to see going forward. I mean, I know we saw Brittany and Karen have a little sit down and they like sort of made up. Karen kind of said, okay, we've said our piece and going forward, we can be civil, but I don't know so much about Brittany anymore. And then Brittany on the flip side said, I don't trust Karen at all anymore.
Yeah.
So over this one incident, it's like they're really kind of done. So,
I don't think so. I think the situation was just a little bit too petty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're completely done, but I do think it put a little rift in the friendship.
Yeah.
It's kind of just, okay, let's be cordial.
Yeah.
We're not going to have, you know, manis and petties. We'll just, I'll just see you if at the, you know, the lunch dinner or something.
Right.
Like,
which Karen has said many times before. Like, she's very clear about the fact that she's willing to be civil with everybody, but she's not going to be, like, best friends with everybody. So, Brittany has crossed that line, apparently. She's just in civil territory.
Exactly.
They're no longer going to be super close. Okay, so that was sort of the majority of the episode. Something that I thought was very interesting was we saw a conversation between Drita and Lee, and this is something I've been very upset about in the past, is Lee has been such a jerk to Drita about the book. So they were having this conversation, and finally Lee turned a new leaf. Right? He was like
supportive.
Out of nowhere. He's like, okay, then write the best book you can. And I was like, what?
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Seriously, because he did all of that just, no, forget this book. Every time she brought it up, it was just, you and this book. You
like
can't
such
even
a
write.
jerk.
Blah, 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 blah. You know? And then now, well, you better write the best book you can. What, Lee?
I know, like instantly too. Yeah. Like in the same conversation, he was still giving her shit. And, and then like in a moment, he's like, all right, do good, babe. Like,
I just think it was from like the from a feeling of like, okay, you're gonna do it whether I want you to or not. You're gonna do it whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
You've already have your story. You have everything going for you. I guess. I mean, if I might as well, you know, stand beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Then fight it.
Thank God.
As a husband should, but
yeah.
I mean,
I was getting tired of it, Lee.
We
So
don't
I'm
even
glad.
see these husbands on the show anyway, so
I mean, how much do we wish we saw more of the husbands?
Yes, I still don't know what Lee looks like. Like,
I know,
not even kind of. Well, I think I saw like a picture they blared out like seasons ago of just an old picture.
I just remember Drita describing him looking like The Rock. Do we remember this?
No.
She said it. She said it.
See, I just need a glimpse.
Anyone out there who knows what Lee looks like, Help us out. Tweet us something because we need to know. Yeah. So in writing her book, I mean, this has been the focus of the past couple episodes. She's really going hard with this book and trying to drudge up old memories. And part of that was that she went to go visit an old mob hangout called Scarlets that used to be a strip club that now has been turned into Chinar. A Mediterranean restaurant, of course, right? So her and Big Ange went back to do a little memory digging, and it was really, I thought it was really funny. They're telling the owner like about their own restaurant. They're like, "Do you know you got a back room? Do you know what happened in that back room?" I thought that was so funny.
I would not want to eat there. Like if I knew that restaurant used to be a strip club, I'd be like, I'd look around and it's like an A restaurant.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh no, it should probably be like a D. Like someone
can't
probably
be
got
an A.
a little something over there, maybe a little something over there. I don't want to sit on this chair. I don't want to go to the bathroom.
Right.
I would not want to go.
Yeah, let's hope that place was steam cleaned real good.
Seriously, it was really beautiful though. I would go just to look at it. It was really pretty. I want to eat there, but
Right,
sit
right.
there and
I'd go
maybe
in a
get
suit.
water.
I'd go in a suit. No germs for me.
Like a hazmat suit. Yeah, the ladies were very trusting. They didn't come with any extra protection. They were good. They were good. They just came to see. And, yeah. The new owner lady seemed very nice.
She did.
She said, "My husband told me about it." I'm good. I'm good with that. Okay, so one of the... I hate to even talk about it because it makes me very sad, is Big Ange. Another big topic of tonight's episode really was Big Ange's health. And that's been in the news and tabloids and everything for the past couple months. We know she's been battling cancer. She's had surgeries and procedures to correct it. And unfortunately, a lot of them haven't taken as of yet. Right now, she's currently fighting lung and brain cancer, as we know.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and it's getting more and more heartbreaking. I've got to say that in my own personal experience and some of my closest girlfriends that also watch Mob Wives, from the moment Big Ange entered the scene on Mob Wives, she has been our absolute favorite. We love her. We just love her so much. So all of this news about her is just so heartbreaking. And tonight was easily the most emotional we've seen Ange. And we saw her in her doctor's appointment. And it's just been really, really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That's just the word that...
I think it's easy for people to forget, as viewers and fans of the show, that they are real people dealing with real life situations. You know, we see the drama that we love, the fights that we love, the arguments that we love, and then, you know, we hear devastating news like this, and it's like, damn, you know, they go through it too.
Yeah.
They have, you know, every family has their own stuff, and and everybody has their own personal, you know, things going on, and it's sad.
And all of these health things and these very serious issues really put into perspective what we're watching. I mean, we as viewers are watching Mob Wives to be entertained. And we're watching these women with these issues that at the end of the day are very petty. To them, they're very serious. And to us, it's very entertaining.
Right.
But when compared against something that's potentially life-threatening and really is a struggle, it's very hard. And, you know, we have seen Ange be battling this for a couple episodes now. And the title of tonight's episode was Younger Version of the Same Old BS, and it was a phrase coined by Ange. She said it herself in the episode, and she tweeted earlier today as well, and she said, look at what you're watching. What is it really compared to a serious fighting something serious like an illness? And she's completely right. It's very hard to talk about these fights and you know, sort of relay this information and then think of poor Ange and what she's going through. So this was really just a very emotional and tough portion of the episode. She was live tweeting a lot too and saying it was very hard to relive a lot of this.
I can't even imagine that, but I'm glad that she decided to show it.
Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Charlie Paul right now just said, I know my heart went out to Ange. She's the glue that keeps the group together. To see her break down is tragic. She's always the voice of reason, and it's good that Karen and Renee were uplifting her. And I completely agree. Very well put. She really is the glue that keeps everyone together. And truly, I feel like since she's been involved with the ladies, she really has been the voice of reason. Like, she really is the neutral person. Even tonight, she goes, I just want to be friends with everyone. I don't even care what you're fighting about it. Squash it. I just want to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the heartbreaking thing is she's always been so sweet and neutral and just friendly. And then all these awful things are happening. And
We need more people like that. We need more people
We
like her
do.
to have that kind of attitude.
We definitely do. I love me some big Ange.
Prayers go out to you, Ange.
Love her.
I hope
To
you
you,
get better.
Ange.
Yes.
We love you so much, and you're in our thoughts and prayers every day, and we just want the best for you. Keep fighting and stay strong because we love you so much.
Love you, Big Ange. And we love that outfit. That when she was wearing the fur
Oh,
and
she's
her
just
little
so
interview
fierce.
with the all white.
Oh, I can't even take
I was living
it.
for that. I was
know.
like, yes.
It's so good. I know. We hope the best for her so much. I can't even stress that enough. And everybody here in the chat room and everybody fans of Mob Wives, everybody, I'm sure I speak for everybody when I say we all agree. We all think the same thing. So we really, really hope the best for her. Okay, as sad as it is, she's lovely and wonderful, and even still, she gets along with the ladies and she mixes it up. So illness aside, she tonight definitely played a part again in trying to be the neutral person for everybody in the group. So we've covered Brittany and Marissa, we've covered Drita and Karen, we've covered kind of all of the conflicts. Do you guys have any other notable things about tonight's episode?
Yeah, when
Let's
Marissa
have it.
says, I robbed Brittany, I just wanted to laugh. I mean, when you say I
And
robbed
I rocked
somebody,
her.
I don't think of fighting. I want to hear, like, I kicked her ass or, blah, 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 I threw blows, that stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just, like, the Staten Island East Coast lingo. But when you say I robbed Brittany, I look at her Brittany and I'm like, no, I don't say it. But, yeah, that's all I wanted to say about that.
I know that was a good one. That was a good one to
All I
bring
wanted to
up.
say.
Oh, I love the what Renee did to the AJ's room. How
that
she
came out nice.
completely did it. Yeah, the paint and then the TV and it was really nice. That one really stood out to me.
Yeah.
Which I think was also help from Ange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Ange had to come to the rescue
Yeah.
after Renee did a little something and didn't decorate properly.
Exactly.
Ange had to rescue. Yeah, no, it was great though. AJ and Andrea are definitely favorites of ours. It was hilarious how they were laying down the ground rules. And then Renee was like, no loud sex. And then very quickly AJ was like, no, that makes her uncomfortable.
Yeah. She was like,
That would make me uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
Be like, what's sex? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
I play stupid.
Oh, Renee. She's hilarious. We love her too. Yeah, so this was a fantastic episode. Let's get into some predictions right now. Yes.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Yes, so next week's episode really seemed a little crazy. I mean, as all the episodes do. Ange got a little fiery with Neil. We saw a fight between them and looks like she's kicking him out. She's been having some problems with him.
I think that just comes from what's happening with her.
Yeah.
She's frustrated, she's stressed. She had surgery for the throat and now it's one thing after another. And I think she's just taking it out on him. And I don't think he knows how to handle it. He's being supportive by going with her to appointments, driving her places, helping her out. And I think he's just kind of stuck and not know what to do. And I feel like that will pass. I think it's just something that she needs to go through.
Yeah, so it was just a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Howard?
Yeah, I think the same thing with Neil. I think next week we'll probably see like at least one of the highest fights that they're gonna have, Neil and Ange. Hopefully they can work through that. And I also see Drita and Karen, this is gonna open up a whole new can of them not even being cordial anymore. We see that Marissa was sitting down with Drita and saying, our men want us to get along, and Drita already thinks Karen spilled something. So I see that just escalating, and that's gonna be the end of their friendship, like for sure.
Yeah.
I want to know why this whole season so far is aiming at Drita. Why does Drita gotta be the bad person right now? I like Drita. I was like, I thought it was gonna be one of the younger girls or
Exactly.
something. Like, no.
I know, and we've even said this in episodes past, where like Drita's an OG, just like many of the other ladies, and since the beginning we've been fans of Drita. So for our last season here, to see like so much hate come Drita's way is just, I think from a viewer standpoint, is just like, what? Because she's been like a fan favorite for many seasons.
She really has.
I think it's just a lot of he said, she said, I heard you said this, I
Yeah.
heard you said that. It's like, well, for the stand-up women, as far as being straightforward that you claim to be,
Yes.
no one has said anything yet, except for the Drita and Karen meeting at the park.
Right.
Yes.
So this needs to happen.
Yes, that's very true. And so then we saw a moment where Marissa and Drita were having a little conversation, and Marissa called out Drita, saying that Lee made a phone call to OZ saying like that the ladies need to calm it down or chill out or something. Yeah. So Marissa and Drita already have an issue.
Yeah.
How much more do you think this is going to amplify the whole situation between the two of them?
Well, we keep seeing a preview of a fight at a restaurant. And it looks like one of the most intense fights I've seen.
Is this the scene where Brittany was doing the modeling? Or no?
No.
A different scene.
No,
Okay.
it was a different scene. I think she
which one
like
you're
flips a
talking
table. Yeah. They're
Yeah.
at the restaurant. The security guard. Yeah. That's the one I'm waiting
She
for.
did a
I think-
Teresa from the Real Housewives of New Jersey? What?
I don't watch New Jersey.
I think that was with Karen,
Just saying.
actually.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
So that's
It
going to be
was.
very intense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm waiting for that one.
Definitely. I know. And then so we did see in the sort of ad for next week that Brittany was going to be doing some sort of runway modeling. And Kevin Ryan had a funny prediction. He says his prediction is that Marissa rocks Brittany while she's doing her runway modeling. Just like snatch her down from off the runway.
That's
How's that going to go? I know.
That's a dirty trick.
Yeah. And then ELHP45 thinks that producers are making Drita look bad through editing.
Maybe. I mean, it's reality TV, so
We never know.
That's true.
We
And
never know
remember,
the truth.
Carla did say that Drita was the one doing some behind the scenes dirty work.
Yeah.
So maybe everybody's just out to get her. Producers, friends.
Drita.
I know. I don't
Could
want to
be,
believe
though.
it, but
Yeah. Okay, so I think now is a great time for some news and gossip.
yes.
We have some stuff.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so we know that the ladies are filming their reunion. I believe it already happened, but I personally have not gotten any updates on the reunion as of yet. So I'm sure that next week we'll have a bunch of really good information for you guys on what happened during the reunion. Sort of the first order of business that I think is really important is the fact that Drita was arrested
what?
just a couple days ago. I believe it was yesterday, actually, in New York. People magazine reported that she was arrested after assaulting another woman in New York. She was arrested that day for this aggravated assault, but then she was released that night. So I'm sure the details will come out soon.
Oh my
It must not have been
gosh.
that serious, but we'll
wanna
see.
know
She
why.
Was, she was
Yeah.
arrested, and it doesn't name who it was, but it was someone obviously important enough to irritate her so bad to get arrested. So
Wow.
yes, so that happened with Drita. That's going on right now. And then just kind of touching back on Ange and her situation, she is going to be on the Dr. Oz show talking about her fight with cancer. As we mentioned before, she's currently battling lung and brain cancer. So she's going to be on Dr. Oz on February 16th talking about it. So check into all of your local programming and you can catch the show then, which would be great to see her kind of sit down long form and talk about what she's going through. Also, any Big Ange supporters out there, Jen Graziano has also kind of set up a fight cancer Big Ange fund that everybody can take part of. You can also find it on Jen Graziano's Instagram. There's some more details there, but basically you can purchase a t-shirt. It's a F Cancer t-shirt in honor of Big Ange, and all the proceeds are going to Big Ange's cancer fight as well as further cancer proceeds and research. So definitely, you know, if you love Ange, if you love Mob Wives, if you care about the situation, check it out. mobcandystore.com is where you can find the shirt. And I think that's going to do it. We wish Big Ange the best.
Yes, definitely.
We'll see what's happening with Drita, and we'll have more reunion information for you guys next week.
Yes.
Excellent.
Where can we find you?
Yes. Well, this has been a fantastic episode. This was so much fun. Excited for next week to see what else happens. I've been your host, Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina M. Aguilar.
And you guys can find me, Facebook, Twitter, all of that stuff at Howard the Third. That's Howard the 3RD. And of course, my website, howardthethird.com.
We shall see you
Excellent.
next
Yes, we're excited for next week. See you later.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.